Hey there, inspired soul. Welcome to the Divinely Inspired Living podcast. I'm your host, Erin Ann Barcellos, angel intuitive, spiritual life coach, and manifestation expert. I'm so glad you're here. Together, we're going to be tuning into the universe, radiating the highest version of ourselves, and manifesting a life beyond our wildest dreams. It's my mission to support you in reclaiming your gifts from ancient lifetimes, developing a strong relationship with your angels and spirit guides, and living life in passionate co-creation with the love of the universe. Because here's the thing, at the end of our lives, this time around, we want to be able to say one thing: mission accomplished. Thank you so much for being here. Let's dive deep. Hey. I'm so glad you're here. And today we're going to be diving deep into a personal story regarding how to really move into a place of renewal and reset when you're craving that reconnection to the divine, looking for answers, and wanting your life experience to have kind of like a jump start into feeling reconnected with the love of the universe and receiving loud and clear guidance and healing at any given time. So we've talked about divinely inspired living really being all about living life in a way in which we're co-creating with the love of the universe. That means that we want to learn how to live life in a way that we're dancing in this divinely orchestrated flow. Now, sometimes we find life experiences of divine orchestration to be super palpable, where things are just like flowing with synchronicities, you're feeling on top of the world, and everything is just like going great, and you're feeling super strongly connected with your angels, guides, and the universe in general. And then sometimes we go through lows where maybe we feel like our connection to the divine and to our angels just isn't there. Sometimes we get in ruts where we feel stuck or desperately needing direction, guidance, or some kind of reset or renewal. In my personal experience of prioritizing connection to the divine, basically my whole adult life, over time, I've really just come to find that these cycles really do move in ebbs and flows. Life moves in ebbs and flows, and it's completely unrealistic to think that either one of us are going to be riding highs a constant part of the time. Spirituality isn't about reaching this place of enlightenment and staying there for the rest of our lives. Spirituality is all about learning how to be spiritual in both the highs and the lows, and learning how to dance with the universe as we experience the ebbs and flows of life. So sometimes we're going to feel really strongly connected to the love of the universe, and other times we're going to find ourselves in places where we're not feeling so connected, and we want to learn those tools and strategies on how to reestablish that connection at any given time. Now, for me personally, there's been a lot of ways that I've done this. And in recent years, before I moved here to Mount Shasta, I would travel to Mount Shasta because this power place on earth really gives you the sensation of like plugging directly into source. So I would come here for weekends or for trips to really connect, to really experience a high voltage connection with divine source. And since I've been living here, it's like normal life followed me here. So I'm still I definitely do experience like the high power of this powerful place and connecting here. But I'm also a human being and am going through my own rhythms and flows. So I want to share this story with you of a recent experience where basically I found myself feeling in need of a reset and re-establishing that spiritual connection. So what I did is something that I often do when I am looking to re-establish a divine connection and to feel ignited by love in every cell of my being. And when I find myself in these places, what I do is I move into a place of living ceremony. And what that means is I'll basically set a time frame. Maybe it's a day, maybe it's 2 days, maybe it's a few days. I really like 3. Like I'll go into ceremony for 3 days and I'll basically like live those entire 3 days as if I'm in ceremony. And when I set the intention to like be in ceremony, to live in ceremony, basically I'm setting down my to-do list and really prioritizing my commitment to feeling and intuiting my way through each and every moment, calling in and invoking divine presence and guidance, getting clear on whatever questions it is or healing it is that I need, and asking the divine and my angels to support me in that healing. And then I'll move about those 3 days fully going in accordance to whatever feels right. This time of ceremony is a lot of listening. It's a lot of asking, and it's a lot of listening, and it's a lot of allowing ourselves to go slow enough to move in accordance to those feelings and intuitive guidance. Nature has always served as a huge role that supports me in connecting to the divine. I've always found myself connecting to nature, specifically power places on the planet, where when I go and visit, I just feel super connected to the divine and easily able to hear my divine guidance. Where I grew up in South Lake Tahoe, there was an area nearby in the Lake Tahoe Basin called the Crystal Mines. And in the Crystal Mines, there is a beautiful tree called the Mother Tree. And when you visit this tree, she's supposedly the largest juniper tree in the world. But when you go to visit, there's like a palpable grandmother wisdom that you can feel when you're there with the tree. So that was often, for a lot of years, my go-to place, especially if I was seeking divine support and guidance. I would hop in the car and go on my ceremony-like nature outing to go visit this tree, connect, and listen. And I would always leave from my experience with the mother tree with clarity, insight, and a renewed sense of my own being and a renewed sense of divine connection. I find that Mount Shasta, the mountain herself, has a very similar energy to the mother tree. So I started to feel super drawn to connect with Mount Shasta. And in all of my travels coming here to visit, it was always like this sacred time and space to come and connect with the mountain. The power of the mountain has this amazing mama love. And very similar to my experience connecting with the mother tree, the mountain has that same mama guidance, loving energy where I could always come to the mountain, experience a powerful spiritual reset, and receive loud and clear divine guidance on whatever it is that was stirring in my heart. Now, in comparison to the mother tree, I mean, Mount Shasta is a 14,000 foot volcano. So it's like very similar to my connection with the mother tree, except for times like 14,000. So as I've moved here and kind of shifted my ways of connecting with the divine, not connecting with the mother tree as much simply by fact of location, but now connecting with the mountain as my kind of spirit guide in a way. Like I went through some kind of spiritual graduation when I went from time to move on from the mother tree and into the arms of Mama Shasta. Now, Mount Shasta is the root chakra of the planet, and she is an active volcano. And something that I'm really discovering about myself, especially in this recent 3-day Spirit Quest ceremony, I'm discovering that there's something about volcanoes that draw me so loud and clear. Like, I feel drawn to connecting with volcanoes. I think that there's part of that volcanic energy that is just so raw and connected to Earth herself. To me, volcanoes represent new life and new Earth as volcanoes erupt, spewing their lava and creating new Earth that provides for all of Earth's inhabitants. So I set out on this 3-day weekend, and it was my intention that during this 3-day weekend to camp, completely disconnect from technology, and be fully immersed in the arms of the divine. So I was setting the intention to connect with Mama Shasta, with nature, and calling in my angels and spirit guides to really guide me in this 3-day ceremony experience. I set my intentions for the experience, which was to experience renewal and healing. I've been having a lot of body issues come up and some concerns regarding my health. So those were mixed in with my intentions for this 3-day weekend. I was setting these intentions for healing, for clarity, for guidance, wanting renewal just in my mind, body, and spirit, and to be able to come home feeling that supercharged, ignited, very clear on my divine guidance type of self. That's the kind of experience that I was asking for and setting the intentions that I would be able to return home feeling that renewed connection and clarity on how to move forward. So my partner and I set out for a 3-day camping trip. I love that he is a perfect person to accompany me even when I'm in this inward ceremony state. So we set out together with the intentions to camp, and really, even though we kind of had an idea of where we wanted to go, I think what makes these ceremony-like experiences when you're co-creating with the love of the universe, right? It's like you set out with a little bit of a plan, but you don't want to be attached to your plan. You want to be open to what you're feeling and to what feels right in each and every moment, and just kind of navigate your way through the day, through the hour, through the experience based on whatever feelings you might be feeling in each and every moment. So we set out on this weekend, and we ended up spending our first camping night on the backside of the mountain, which was an area of the mountain that I had never been to before, and it was so quiet and peaceful. It was a really beautiful new experience to connect with the mountain and to really be nestled in the Mount Shasta forest, to sleep there with the full moon shining bright overhead, and to have a consistent, constant view of the mountain. When we camped our first night, as soon as we found a camp spot, set up camp, one of the very first things that I did was I brought out my drum. And my drum is kind of like a shamanic drum made from deer skin. And when you beat the sound of the drum, it has like a very deep drumming sound. And at the same time, the vibration of the sound travels really far. So I settled into our first night of camping, drumming, setting my intentions, even doing a little journaling and card pulling about really what the divine themes were for this weekend for me. In my drumming, I started singing some songs that I like to sing as I drum. And one of them just happened to pop up like as the next song played that I was drumming to, which perfectly fit my intentions for body healing and body healing guidance. The song goes like this. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath and fire my spirit. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath and fire my spirit. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath and fire my spirit. So right away I'm connecting with the power of my own body and the way that my body is so similar to the earth, right? I'm like connecting with my body in a whole new way, recognizing that I am a part of earth, that I am a part of spirit, and that I have within me the capacity to heal and transform as I connect to the true nature of my being. From there, we went on a little walk, and during the walk, we stumbled upon what my partner likes to call lava plugs. And there are some areas of the Mount Shasta Mountain where you'll find these random rock formations. I kind of think that it looks like the mountain has pimples or zits. And like, because all of a sudden you're just like walking through and then there's a ton of these like rock formations that aren't super big. Like maybe they're tall person height. You can climb up onto them or, come over and sit by them. And each one tends to have its own specific energy. So it was really just a special experience to walk and be in my feeling space, noticing where I'm drawn on the walk and noticing which of these rock formations I was drawn to. There was one in particular off in the distance that was covered by a lot of greenery. And I was immediately drawn to this lava plug because it reminded me of Ireland. I think it was the greenery and the rocks combined that reminded me of Ireland, which is so very special to my heart. Another power place. We'll save that story for another time. So I'm drawn to this lava plug that is just awakening this Irish goddess part of myself. And I go to spend time with this rock. I crawl up on top of it. And holy cow, do I feel some major energetic healing taking place in my body. I felt like this rock was drawing out any dense, dark energy from my body, mind, and spirit that needed to be released. It was like any heavy energy I was feeling, the intense fatigue I was feeling, it was all just like moving down through my body, going out my feet and into the rock. I probably spent about 20-30 minutes just standing and being on top of this rock as I felt myself being cleared really intensely just from being there. Now, experiences like this are probably more common than we realize. I think it's a matter of heightening your own feeling sensations in order to be aware of what's going on. Like, I think two different people might visit this rock, and maybe the rock, I feel like the rock's purpose, like it's like these rocks have their own personality, their own divine nature to them, and they help with different things. And this rock in particular, this lava plug, was, in my experience, a lava plug that helps with that energy clearing and purification. Now, I think any two random people could both be with that rock, and my guess is that the lava plug would be providing that same kind of clearing and healing for each person that comes to visit. Or not. Maybe the lava plug has a different type of magic that it offers for each person particularly. Maybe it's the type of magical rock that offers each person exactly what kind of healing it is that they need specifically. So I don't really know the answer to that. I can really only speak to my personal experience of connecting with this rock. But I do want to highlight that I think everybody has their own intuitive ability to be able to connect with a rock, a power place like this, and experience and be aware of the healing effects that it has. It takes a very, going back to listening, feeling, and being really tuned in and aware of yourself, the sensations you might be feeling. There's when it comes to intuition, it's basically a sixth sense, right? So we see, we feel, we taste, we touch. Now, when it comes to our intuition, it's like intuition can be almost just as tangible as those other senses when we practice them and develop them. So I definitely would say that that's a place where I'm at on my journey, is that I've been tuning into these frequencies and these unseen parts of the world for so long that for me, it's just as strong as any other sense, sometimes if not stronger. And so I want to open this door for you, that you have this sense too. And so when you go and experience some kind of magical rock and it's doing this powerful healing for you, you may be aware of it and you may not be aware of it. The key to becoming aware of it and having this powerful experience in that moment is, again, through these deep places of listening, tuning in, and feeling. So for me, I found this beautiful lava plug rock formation that I was super drawn to. I went straight to it, climbed up on it, and started having a very powerful experience in which I was feeling all of this energy move and be released from my body. And I kind of just hung out there and let it happen, moving my body in whatever way felt right, just to assist the energy in flowing and leaving. And I kind of just hung out there in the experience until I had a strong sense that the healing was complete. I knew the healing was complete, thanked the rock, and climbed off of it and started the walk back to the campsite. On the way back to our campsite, I could feel such an amazing shift in my body. I felt lighter, I felt more energized, and I truly felt like that sacred rock helped me purify my energy field and being from all of the heaviness and lethargy that I was previously carrying. So I felt renewed, rejuvenated, and like ready to dive even further into my healing for the rest of the weekend. As soon as we got back to the campsite, the sun was setting, and it was the perfect time to crawl into our tent, in which the full moon was shining bright overhead, and I slept like the best sleep that I had in a very long time. And I don't always sleep that deeply when we're camping or sleeping outside, but I felt so cradled by the love of the universe. I felt so cradled and nurtured by the mountain. I felt so soaking up healing energy from the rock and from the sacred place that we were. I slept so deeply, and that was just another piece of receiving the love, magic, and healing from the universe. When we woke up the next morning, we decided that we wanted to venture on. And so we packed up our campsite with the intention to head to Medicine Lake, which was probably about an hour away from where we were camping on the mountain. Before we left that area completely, I returned to that sacred lava plug that supported me in that deep healing and purification. And I left it a beautiful offering of rose quartz just to say thank you. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we hopped in the car and ventured off. And exploring this territory that was my first time particularly exploring. So it just felt so wonderful to really get to know the mountain better, get to know the area better, and really be introduced even more so to the sacred lava territory that is Mount Shasta and surrounds Mount Shasta. So as I mentioned before, Mount Shasta herself is a volcano. And there are many other volcanoes that surround the area and continue up through the Cascade Mountains. Medicine Lake is another volcano that is basically right next to Mount Shasta. And driving through that area, it reminded me so much of my experiences in Hawaii, particularly the Big Island of Hawaii, because everywhere you look, it is just black lava rock. And when you look closely at the lava rock, you can see how the lava poured and pooled and flowed and really just created all of this new earth. It was new at the time. Now it's thousands of years old, covered with forest. And it's just such a special place to be. As we're cruising through the lava territory, I'm just so excited because there's something about the lava rocks that just ignites my spirit. I don't know what it is. I experience it a ton when I go to Hawaii. I'm often called to Hawaii just to connect with the lava goddesses and the volcanoes. And so here we are cruising through the volcano territory that is now my backyard. And I just keep hearing in my head, lava junkie, lava junkie, lava junkie. And it really kind of like opened up this little door inside of me that allows me to now own I'm a lava junk. That allows me to now own I'm a lava junkie. I don't know what that means, but for me, it's like connecting with lava, connecting with the earth, connecting with volcano energy. It's part of who I am. It lights me up. It feeds my spirit. It piques my interests and my passions. And to identify with this strange term, lava junkie, I am a lava junkie, and here I am cruising through all these lava fields on my way to a new volcano. It just lit me up in a way that I was really craving and really needing and not really expecting to be lit up and renewed in this way. So we finally make it to Medicine Lake, and the lake itself is formed inside of the caldera of the Medicine Lake volcano. And the Medicine Lake volcano, it's a stratovolcano, so it's the biggest volcano in the Pacific Northwest. I think even in not the United States. I'm sure Hawaii has it beat. So it's the biggest volcano in the Pacific Northwest, but it's very different than like the volcano of Mount Shasta. So Mount Shasta is this huge volcano, but it's huge because it's tall. It's 14,000 feet tall, so there's this 14,000 foot tall volcano, and then right next to it is a volcano that's even larger, but it's not larger in height. It doesn't tier above into the sky like a mountain. It's a stratovolcano, so it's actually large in its width. It's a short volcano, but it covers like a lot of territory and a lot of square miles and a lot of acreage, as this volcano is just like short and huge, covering all of this land and territory. So the Medicine Lake itself is the caldera of the volcano. So that's like that little dip that you can find at the top of volcanoes where the lava typically spews out of. And the lake itself is known to be a very sacred and spiritual place, especially by the natives of the territory who would come to Medicine Lake to do their native ceremonies. Now, my experience arriving at Medicine Lake, I was just happy as can be, because I'm from Lake Tahoe, and being at a big lake that has really clear, clean water is another thing that just feeds my spirit. So right when we get there, I'm happy as can be to be spending time at the lake, to be connecting with a lake that's so clean and feeding my spirit in this beautiful, natural way. It wasn't too long after being there where I again moved into drumming ceremony. So I'm sitting in a chair right at the water's edge, and I bring out my drum. My drum has a lightning bolt painted on it. I painted the lightning bolt onto the drum myself because the lightning bolt is a symbol that the universe has given to me over and over during very pivotal and important times in my life. Now, the universe hasn't just shown me pictures of the lightning bolt. I mean, when I'm at like a spiritual milestone in my own life, lightning bolts strike. There's a lot of stories I could share about that, and I'm going to save that for other episodes. But just to share with you now in this moment, lightning bolts are very special to me. And when I'm in some kind of powerful experience connecting with the divine, if I'm in an experience that signifies some kind of spiritual milestone in my own life, or even when the universe just wants to give me a really loud and clear sign that they're with me or supporting me or guiding me, lightning bolts tend to be a part of the experience. So here I am at Medicine Lake. It's a beautiful sunny day. I'm sitting at the edge of the water and I bring out my drum. These clouds start rolling through that look like storm clouds, but the sky is at the same time still sunny. So it's a sunny sky that's partly cloudy, and the clouds that are in that partly cloudy area are very stormy looking. I'm drumming. We feel a couple water drops, just a couple. And the clouds above start to roar with thunder and lightning. It was the most amazing experience sitting at this water's edge, practically in the sunshine, seeing and hearing lightning over the water. And when we're in these palpable, divinely orchestrated, crazy spiritual experiences, my best suggestion for all of us is to just receive it, savor it, and soak it up, which is exactly what I did. Continuing to drum, continuing to be there at the water's edge, really just receiving this powerful divine energy of the sounds, the views of the lake, the sounds of the drum, the sounds of the lightning, the sounds of the thunder, allowing it to invigorate me even more. There came a time where that moment felt like it came to completion. So I stopped the drumming, and I guess innately was ready to shift into whatever was next that the universe wanted to bring in that moment or for the rest of the evening and afternoon. Wouldn't it mean the world to you if you knew on every level of your being that you had a big support team of angels just ready to come to your aid whenever you needed it? Wouldn't it be awesome if you could connect with your angels on a regular basis and hear the messages that they have for you loud and clear to support you in navigating through any situation? Wouldn't it just be a miracle if you finally got your miracle breakthrough and were confidently working with the universe to co-create the life and relationships that you deeply desire? Get all that and more inside of the brand new Inspire membership. The Inspire membership is jam-packed with everything that you need for spiritual guidance, support, and community. You'll receive the weekly Guidance for Your Soul videos where I'll tune into the angels' messages every single week, relaying you the exact messages that you need to know to navigate each week with ease and grace. You'll become so in touch with the universe's rhythms that you'll know exactly what to do in any situation. Plus, you'll get the weekly inner work and manifestation checklist, the monthly digital workshop, a monthly meditation, access to the exclusive Inspire community, and so much more. And the best part, it's only $33 a month. Through our time together, you'll learn how to leverage life's peaks and valleys so that you'll feel grounded, clear, and stable no matter what life throws at you. You'll truly shed the energy blocks that have been keeping you stuck so that you can become a high vibe magnet to all that you desire. And you'll become so accustomed to leaning on the universe for support that you'll feel rock solid inner peace with instant access to divine solutions in every situation. So if your soul is saying yes and you're ready to establish a strong connection to the universe and be guided to a life of love, inner peace, and wild manifestation, the Inspire membership is for you. To register, go to our website, divinely-inspired-living.com/inspire-membership. You can also find that link in the show notes. Do yourself the favor and courageously follow your soul's call to say yes to getting the spiritual guidance, community, and support that you crave. Sign up today. And I kept being drawn as I was looking across the lake. I kept looking over to where there was a campground. I had never been over there before. You couldn't really see any of the campers from where we were, but I knew there was a campground over there, and my eyes just kept going there. I kept being drawn. I kept being drawn. I kept being drawn. So I said to my partner, let's go check out that campground. I'm not really ready to leave the lake, and I'm not really ready to go set up camp, but I feel really drawn to check out that campground. And if we do find that it's the right place for us to camp tonight, well, why don't we just set up camp and make a home here, lakeside, for the rest of the evening? I was so grateful that he was open to it. We don't typically camp in developed campgrounds, so just even checking it out was pretty much a new experience for us. So we went over to check out the campground. It was right near the 4th of July weekend, so there were 2 campground areas. One of them was extremely busy with almost every site booked. And then there was another one that had only like 3 campers in it. So since it was quiet, since there was a lot of space in between the campers, we decided, yeah, this is the place. It was like right on the lake. And when we pulled in to claim a site, we actually found one that was right on the lake. Like our campsite was right on the beach to the lake. You could throw a rock and hit the water. So it felt like such a gift from the universe to score in this randomly quiet campground with a lakefront site. Dang, this 3-day ceremony weekend is just getting better and better. Thank you, universe, for all that you're providing for me and everything that you're orchestrating within this experience. I'm so grateful and honored to have this beautiful campsite and to make a home here tonight, nestled into the earth's shores of Medicine Lake. We had a beautiful evening there with a nourishing dinner and again, such a restful, nourishing night's sleep. And I woke up in the morning and just went straight into the water. When I was in the water that morning, the most profound healing of all happened there. When I was in the water, immersed, I knew that right across the lake is this spring inside of the lake that is like the earth bubbling into the lake. Right across the lake from where we were, there's an underwater spring that moves water from the earth into the water, and it creates all of these bubbles that you can even see the bubbles on the top of the shoreline. So there I was in the water. I wasn't near the spring, but I knew it was across the lake. And it was like I was all of a sudden overcome by the power of this lake, knowing that it's like bubbling and moving as an active part of the earth, providing medicine and healing. It kind of dawned on me in that moment, this is Medicine Lake. This lake is medicine. This is Medicine Lake. And then I looked to my right and I saw a dead fish in the water. And I got freaked out because that stuff freaks me out even though I love swimming in lakes. So I started swimming to the left really fast. Like just getting away from that fish as much as I could. Started going to the left. And then all of a sudden, when I stopped and put my feet to the ground, I was about shoulder depth. The water was like as deep as my shoulders, so I could stand. And then I noticed that I was standing in like this little bowl. Like if I stepped 2 feet in any direction, the sand went up and then I would be moved up to the water being like just above my waist. So here I was in this like little bowl where it got deeper to where I was able to be in shoulder depth water. And I was like, wow, this is an interesting little bowl. And I'm just kind of like hanging out there in the water, feeling and sensing and imagining that bubbling spring across the water and just allowing myself to receive and soak up all of the healing effects of Medicine Lake. After this crazy experience, I journaled about it in detail. So I'm going to refer to my journal now and read to you what I wrote. I could feel the healing power just being there in the water, especially knowing that right across the lake and earth were bubbling with geologic happenings. I could feel it in my legs, my hips, my groin, everywhere, from my belly button down. It's like this crazy healing was taking place in those areas of my body. It got even more intense when I realized that I found my way into that sand bowl there in the lake that I was standing in. It was like that bowl of the lake shore was a portal, a sacred portal, the portal bowl, rumbling with healing throughout my entire body. Butterflies were flying all around, making their way over the water to come and say hi, flying by me and whispering messages. Schools of fish swam by, and then a bald eagle took flight right over my head. It's like he came over to visit, coming to say hi, so beautifully flying right above my head. At that exact time, a large buzzing bug came over toward me. It's like this bug came to help. And all of a sudden, the bug started circling around me, buzzing loudly. The bug was at eye level, about 12 inches away from my face. And it just buzzed and made circles around my head. Wow. There I was, standing in this small portal bowl in the earth, chest deep in the water of Medicine Lake. And it's clear that a major healing took place. It was so palpable in divine orchestration that it blew me away. When the buzzing was complete and the bug flew off, I knew my healing was complete. I was then guided to swim out of the bowl in the opposite way of heading back to shore. My guide said, "Now swim into your new self. Swim forward. Swim forward into your future. So I did. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Other messages that I received while in the water. Stay connected to that beautiful woman you were camping next to. Come back and camp here during your 30-day cleanse. Medicine Lake is your new home. Love your body. Stop hating your body. Stop hating what your body is doing. Love your body. Share this story with others. This is how I live divinely inspired living. Share it. Share your story. Great healing is happening between you and your partner. Allow it. Cleanse my body. Make body lifestyle changes. These are just as important as your work. They are equal big priorities right now. Your future child will be here soon, at the perfect time. And so taking a moment just to soak up all the beauty and power from this experience. I can feel it strongly as I'm sharing this story with you. And I'm remembering and celebrating the magic that the universe provided me with, the guidance, the healing at Medicine Lake, and this entire 3 days of ceremony, rejuvenation, and connecting. It was shortly after that time in the water where we packed up and headed home. And it's weekends like this, times like this, experiences like this, that for me, I live for. To me, this is what divinely inspired living is all about. This is what my life looks like as I connect with the divine, as I flow with the energies of the universe, as I follow my guidance, pray for healing, invoke divine love and orchestration, and allow it to take place, and allow it to bring miracles into my life. This is one story, and I have so many of them. And I want to encourage you to be open to living your life this way too. Because when we live our lives this way, when we really surrender ourselves into the arms of the universe and faithfully follow it wherever it's leading us, miracles happen. Healing happens. This is such a fun way to live life. This is such a rewarding way to live life. This is such a nourishing way to live life. And I do think it's important to note that all of these experiences happened sober. I do think that in certain cases, certain mind-altering substances can be used as tools to help us get to these levels of interacting with the unseen world. But substances are not needed. The reason why they can be helpful tools is they help us to lower our inhibitions. And I want to encourage you to be in a space of learning how to lower your inhibitions naturally. When we move into these ceremony-like experiences, just being really open being tuned into our feelings, really tuned into our inner world and listening to our intuitive nudges and guidance. And when we let down those inhibitions and really fully surrender ourselves into the love of the universe, knowing that the love of the universe does exist, and when we call it in and then listen and follow, miracles happen. So I want to invite you to move into your own ceremony-like experience where you truly get to discover what divinely inspired living is all about. It doesn't have to look as powerful as mine. Any small or big miracle is a miracle. They're all the same. So let's not do the comparison game. I want you to have your own experience and just trust whatever it is comes your way as orchestrated by the divine. So start by just setting the intention to have a divinely orchestrated ceremony-like experience. Carve out a morning or an afternoon or even a whole day that you completely dedicate to your divinely inspired living ceremony. As you move into that time that you have set aside, put your to-do list away, even detach from your phone if you can, and set the intention of what you would like to receive from the universe from that time. Maybe it's guidance, maybe it's clarity, maybe it's healing. Whatever it is, get clear on whatever intention you have for that divinely inspired ceremony time. And then I want you to call in the love of the universe. Call in your higher power. Call in your angels and your spirit guides and ask them to be with you. Ask them to orchestrate your time and ask them to support you in fulfilling those intentions you set. And then from there, follow your intuition. Go deep within yourself, pay clear attention to your feelings, and really just listen and follow whatever feels right. That might mean going on an adventure. That might mean sitting quietly in your room, nestled comfortably reading a book. That might be going on a walk somewhere where you've never been before. Whatever it is, you call in the divine, you set your intentions, and then you listen. And you follow your feelings. Follow what feels right. And just be completely open to whatever it is that the universe provides you with. Now, it might be a really loud, divinely orchestrated, palpable experience like the one I shared. It might involve synchronicities. It might involve like randomly meeting someone new. Or these things might be really subtle for you. It might be that just being cozy and reading a book for a couple hours gives you that rejuvenation that you're needing. So I want you to just be open to whatever way it might look. Pay attention to the subtleties, right? Because just like how I was describing when I was on that lava plug and experiencing the major healing that happened there, well, I'm really tuned into that kind of stuff. For me, it was obvious. And some experiences like that might not be as clear and obvious for everyone, but it doesn't mean that it isn't happening. So I want you to just be open and notice whatever it is that you're receiving, and don't discount anything, because even the smallest aspects of your experience are divinely orchestrated, and there are love and purpose within those subtle moments as well. Have fun with this. I'd love to hear about your thoughts about this episode or about the experience of your own divinely orchestrated ceremony. So meet me over in the Facebook group, Inspired Souls Creating Radiant Intuitive Lives, and let's continue the conversation over there. Love you so much, and I'll catch you on the next episode. I'm doing a serious happy dance that you made it all the way to the end of this episode. Way to go for showing up for yourself, and thanks so much for hanging out here with me. If you're feeling inspired, uplifted, moved, or you simply just loved what you heard today, please share the love by heading over to iTunes and Spotify and leaving a rating and review. Also, if you know anyone who you think would benefit from today's episode, please pass the love on to them as well. These special acts of service allow me to keep the good stuff coming. Plus, it's like sharing miracles. For more inspiration on soul-led living, connect with me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Divinely Inspired Living. I'm sending you a big hug, lots of love. The light within me honors and acknowledges the light within you. Namaste.